The stars stretched endlessly, a dark sea dotted with distant suns as the human exploration vessel Odyssey glided through the void. Inside, Captain Alara Hayes watched the glowing display of the alien system they had just entered. Her team had been traveling for months, following signals that no human had ever decoded before. Their mission was clear: first contact, diplomacy, and discovery. But nothing could have prepared them for what lay ahead. "Captain," said Lieutenant Marco Reyes, pointing at the screens, "we are approaching the Xiphorian capital. The planet's energy readings are off the charts." Alara leaned closer, her brow furrowed. The readings were unlike anything human instruments had measured. The planet itself seemed alive, a swirling sphere of energy and light. "Prepare for orbital entry," she ordered. "Keep shields up. I don't want any surprises." As the Odyssey entered the planet's orbit, a massive ship appeared from the bright glow of the atmosphere. It was like nothing humans had ever imagined. Its shape shifted subtly, as if alive. Light shimmered across its surface, changing color with every angle. The vessel was enormous, easily 10 times the size of the Odyssey, and it radiated a strange, quiet power. "That is incredible," whispered Dr. Liam Carter, the team's lead scientist. His eyes widened as he studied the patterns of light crawling over the alien ship. "It's beautiful. And it's watching us." Alara felt a chill. There was an intelligence here, and it was aware of them. "Open a channel," she said. "Let's see who's in command." The screen shimmered. Then, as if materializing from light itself, a figure appeared. She was tall, regal, and unlike anything human. Her skin shimmered with subtle patterns that shifted like liquid silver. Her eyes glowed faintly, bright yet calm, and her presence filled the room in a way that made the crew instinctively straighten in respect. "I am the alien queen of the Xiphorians," she said, her voice melodic and firm, though no translator could fully capture its resonance. The room fell silent. Even the hum of the ship seemed to quiet itself. "You are far from home, humans." Alara took a careful step forward. "Your Majesty, I am Captain Alara Hayes, representing Earth. We come in peace and wish to establish diplomatic contact." The Queen tilted her head slightly, her glowing eyes scanning each member of the crew. Then, with a movement that was both graceful and commanding, she turned toward Liam, the scientist who had been quietly observing her. "He belongs to me," she declared, a small enigmatic smile touching her lips. The room froze. Liam blinked, unsure whether the statement was a threat, a declaration, or something else entirely. "Me?" he stammered. "Why?" "You will understand in time," the Queen interrupted, her eyes locking onto his with an intensity that made his heart race. "For now, know this: you are special." Alara felt a mix of awe and alarm. "Captain, do we—" "Remain calm," Liam said, almost automatically. He felt a strange pull, an unspoken understanding that this was not hostility. The Queen's words were deliberate, yet they carried no threat. The Queen gestured, and a doorway of shimmering light opened behind her, revealing a vast hall filled with other Xiphorians. They were tall and elegant, with forms that seemed fluid, their bodies rippling with faint energy patterns. Their faces, though alien, radiated intelligence and curiosity rather than aggression. "You may enter," the Queen said. "Observe, learn, and do not underestimate what you see." The human crew exchanged cautious glances. They had trained for first contact, but the sheer scale and sophistication of this alien civilization made even seasoned explorers feel small. Alara led the way as they stepped through the glowing portal. The hall inside was immense. Light shimmered off the walls, forming patterns that seemed to respond to the humans' movements. Strange machines hovered silently, and devices unlike anything Earth had created floated effortlessly in midair. Yet it was not just technology that impressed them. The air itself seemed alive, humming softly as if in rhythm with the Queen's presence. Liam moved carefully, his eyes darting from one marvel to another. "Captain, this is beyond anything we imagined. Their understanding of energy, it's centuries ahead of ours." Alara nodded, though her mind remained alert. "Keep your wits about you," she warned. "Remember, our job is to observe and learn. Diplomacy first." A Xiphorian approached, bowing slightly. "I am Vela, an advisor to the Queen. Your arrival is remarkable." His voice was softer than the Queen's, but still carried authority. "She has chosen to watch one of your kind closely. Do not take offense. It is a recognition of potential." Liam's pulse quickened. "Recognition of potential?" Valen nodded. Our queen sees more than you may understand. Not all beings are equal in ability or spirit. Some stand out. The words hung in the air. Liam tried to process them. Why him? And what did the queen truly see? As they continued deeper into the hall, holographic displays flickered to life, showing the history of Xiphoria. Their world had thrived for millennia, mastering energy manipulation, interstellar travel, and forms of thought that humans could barely imagine. Yet despite their technological superiority, the queen seemed fascinated by humans. They observed differently, Valen whispered to Alara. Humans are unpredictable, creative, persistent. That is why she has marked your scientist. Alara glanced at Liam, whose expression was a mixture of fear, curiosity, and awe. Marked, in what sense? She asked quietly. Valen shrugged. It is not ownership as you understand it. It is a bond of interest. The queen believes his mind and spirit may play a significant role in the future of Xiphoria. Liam swallowed hard. His thoughts raced. He had always dreamed of discovering something incredible in space, but he had never imagined being singled out by an alien monarch. The weight of the moment pressed on him, yet he also felt a strange thrill. Before he could dwell further, the queen's voice echoed across the hall. Come closer, she said. Liam stepped forward, guided by some instinct he could not explain. Do not fear. The path ahead is not yours alone. Others will accompany you, but you will see what is hidden. Alara placed a steadying hand on Liam's shoulder. We are here as a team, she reminded him. Nothing happens alone. The queen's eyes glimmered. Indeed, but some paths are illuminated for only one. Watch closely, humans, and you may learn what it truly means to be extraordinary. Suddenly, a chamber within the hall opened, revealing a room filled with shimmering energy fields and floating orbs. Symbols rotated in the air, displaying patterns that seemed to respond to thought. Liam felt a pull toward the center of the room, a sensation that was both dizzying and exhilarating. You will begin here, the queen said. Observe, understand, and adapt. The universe rewards those who see possibilities others cannot. Alara moved beside Liam, ready to step forward. She glanced back at her team. Stay alert. Watch each other's backs. We don't fully understand this world yet. As Liam stepped into the room, the orbs began to move around him, responding to his presence. He felt as if the room itself was testing him, probing his thoughts and reactions. The queen watched from the hall, her smile calm and knowing. For the first time in human history, they were not merely visitors in an alien world. They were participants in something greater. And in that moment, Liam realized the queen's declaration had not been a threat, but a challenge, to show what humanity could do when faced with the unknown. Outside, the stars of Xiphoria glimmered like distant fires, endless and infinite. Inside, a human mind stood at the threshold of discovery, ready to prove that even in a universe of unimaginable power, the human spirit could shine bright. And the queen's smile remained, small, enigmatic, and full of promise. Liam Carter stood in the center of the shimmering chamber, his heart pounding. The floating orbs rotated slowly around him, glowing softly in colors he had never seen before. Each orb seemed to react to his slightest movement, drifting closer or farther away depending on his attention. It was as if the room were alive and studying him in return. Focus on understanding, not on fear. The queen's voice echoed softly, carried by some invisible channel. Her tone was calm, but it filled the chamber with an authority Liam could not ignore. You have potential that even your kind has not yet realized. He swallowed, trying to steady his nerves. Potential? For what? He whispered, mostly to himself. The queen did not answer directly. Instead, the orbs shifted, arranging themselves into shapes that looked like symbols and equations. Liam's mind, trained in human science, struggled to interpret them. But slowly, he began to see patterns that suggested energy flows, balance, and motion, all controlled by thought. He reached out, letting his hand hover near a small orb. To his surprise, it drifted toward him, following his movement. A spark of understanding lit in his mind. It's responding to my attention, he exclaimed. It's like it knows what I want to do. Yes, the queen said, her voice closer now, though he could see no one else in the chamber. But not just your attention. It responds to your intention. What you think, you may influence. But only if your mind is clear, your heart steady, and your purpose strong. Liam's brow furrowed. purpose, heart, clarity. He had spent his life analyzing data, running experiments and seeking results. Now he realized that the Xiphorians valued more than intellect alone. They valued the choices behind the intellect, the character behind the thought. Outside the chamber, Captain Alara Hayes and the rest of the human crew observed through a translucent wall. They could see Liam moving among the orbs, speaking softly and gradually gaining confidence. Is he learning something? Lieutenant Marco Reyes whispered to Alara. I think so, she replied cautiously, but we still don't know what the Queen expects. Watch closely. If anything goes wrong, be ready. Meanwhile, Liam experimented with the orbs. He moved his hands in different patterns, thinking about what he wanted to understand. The orbs shifted, merged, and separated, forming sequences that slowly made sense. Energy patterns danced in the air, showing him processes that could power cities, transport information instantly, and manipulate matter without touching it. This is incredible, Liam whispered. They've mastered energy in ways we can only dream of. Yes, the Queen said. But your potential lies not only in learning what exists, it lies in seeing what can be created. Liam paused, looking around the room. Created, meaning new ideas? New ideas, new solutions, new ways to see the universe, the Queen replied. The Xiphorians are advanced, yes, but your kind humans have something we have not. You are unpredictable, creative, resilient. That is why I have chosen you. The word struck Liam deeply. Chosen, special, important. But they also carried responsibility, a burden he could feel pressing on his chest. Back in the observation area, Alara turned to her crew. She's not just picking him at random. She sees something in him that matters to her and to her people. We need to trust him, and him to trust himself. Liam's experiments continued for hours. Each time he focused, the orbs responded more fluidly, forming intricate patterns and even simulating environments. He realized he could combine multiple energy flows to create controlled effects, like moving objects, forming light bridges, or generating protective fields. It's intuitive, Liam murmured. The more I think about what I want, the more it obeys. It's not magic, it's understanding energy differently. Yes, the Queen replied. You see the first step. Humans often underestimate themselves because you measure yourself against what is known, not what is possible. Here, what is possible is only limited by your imagination and your will. Suddenly, one of the orbs split into smaller fragments and moved rapidly toward Liam. He instinctively raised his hand, and the fragments slowed, forming a protective shape around him. The Queen's voice echoed again. You are ready for more, she said, but first you must understand why I marked you. It is not ownership. It is recognition. I have seen the strength of your spirit, the clarity of your thought, and the courage in your choices. Others may doubt you. Others may fear you, but I see your potential. Liam took a deep breath, feeling a mix of fear and determination. Then, I won't disappoint you. Do not seek to please me, the Queen said. Seek to understand yourself. Only then will your abilities truly emerge. Hours passed, though in that chamber Liam had lost all sense of time. The orbs had become extensions of his thoughts. He could see connections, balances, and flows of energy he had never imagined. And slowly he began to see why the Queen had singled him out. Humans, even untrained, could approach problems in ways that Xiphorians could not. They could combine logic with intuition, creativity with instinct, and empathy with reason. Meanwhile, outside the chamber, tension was rising. The human crew had begun exploring the hallways of the palace, encountering more Xiphorians. Some were curious, observing with polite interest. Others were cautious, whispering among themselves. It became clear that not all Xiphorians trusted humans. Some saw them as wild, unpredictable creatures who could disrupt the balance of their carefully ordered society. Alara approached a Xiphorian advisor named Valan. There's tension here, she said quietly. Do we need to worry? Valan shook his head slowly. Not worry, observe, humans are strange. Yes, but that is precisely why the Queen values you. She believes your kind may bring balance to challenges we cannot foresee, but others may resist this idea. Caution is wise. Back in the chamber, Liam sensed the undercurrent of tension. He paused his experiments and allowed the orbs to float freely. The room seemed to hum with awareness, as if acknowledging his pause. He realized that the Queen's choice might provoke jealousy, fear, or even hostility. but it also meant opportunity. He could learn, grow, and help humans become allies of the Xiphorians. "Captain Hayes?" Liam called, stepping back as the orbs settled into calm patterns. "I understand why she chose me. It's not possession, it's responsibility. She trusts me to learn, to grow, and to act when the time comes." Ilara nodded, relief and pride in her eyes. "Then we will stand with you, all of us. Whatever comes next, we face it together." The Queen's voice returned, echoing gently in the chamber. "Good, you have begun the first steps. Remember, humans, understanding is the path to power, but only if paired with courage. Your kind is strong because you adapt. You survive because you think beyond limits, and you endure because you hope." Liam smiled, feeling a new sense of purpose. "I will not forget that." As the chamber's energy patterns began to settle into static shapes, Liam felt something new stirring inside him. A connection to something vast and intelligent. A sense that the universe was teaching him directly, and as he stood there, the Queen's enigmatic smile remained, as though she were both observing and encouraging him to rise to his potential. Outside, the human crew continued to explore. Learning from the Xiphorians while remaining alert to political undercurrents, they realized that their role was no longer passive. They were participants in a complex web of knowledge, power, and possibility. And for the first time, Liam understood that being chosen by the Queen was not about privilege. It was about opportunity, the opportunity to show humanity at its best, creative, courageous, and resilient, even in a world far beyond their understanding. For the first time in human history, they were not merely visitors. They were students, allies, and potential partners in a civilization that valued intelligence, heart, and spirit in equal measure. And the Queen's smile remained, small, enigmatic, and full of promise. The grand halls of the Xiphorian palace stretched endlessly, filled with energy patterns that shimmered like liquid light. Humans moved carefully, their senses alert to the beauty and danger around them. Captain Ilara Hayes led her team with quiet confidence, her eyes scanning every corridor for any sign of trouble. "Stay close," she whispered to Lieutenant Marco Reyes. "We don't fully understand their society yet. One wrong move could provoke someone." Marco nodded, though his eyes were wide with wonder. "It's like walking through a dream," he said softly, "but a very intense dream." Meanwhile, Liam Carter was still under the watchful eye of the Queen. The chamber of floating orbs had become a classroom, a laboratory, and a test ground all at once. He had grown more comfortable controlling the orbs, creating patterns of light and energy that seemed almost alive. But something in the atmosphere had shifted. A subtle tension, almost imperceptible, lingered in the air. The Queen's voice echoed softly, drawing Liam's attention. "There are those among my people who do not welcome your kind. Some see humans as unpredictable, dangerous, and yet you have potential that even we cannot ignore. Watch carefully and trust your mind." Liam nodded, absorbing the warning. He had learned quickly that the Queen's words carried deeper meaning than simple instruction. There was wisdom and foresight in every phrase, and ignoring it could be dangerous. Outside the chamber, Captain Hayes and her team had encountered Velan again, the advisor who had first explained the Queen's choice. "Captain," Velan said quietly, lowering his voice, "there is unrest among some factions. Not all accept the Queen's decisions. Some consider humans a threat to our order. It is subtle now, but it grows." Ilara frowned. "What kind of threat?" "A rebellion," Velan replied. "They do not act openly yet. They watch, they plot, and they may test you and your people to see if the Queen's trust is misplaced." The word sent a ripple of unease through the crew. They had been careful to respect Xiphorian culture, to show that humans came in peace, but now it seemed that mere presence had already stirred fear and suspicion. Back in the orb chamber, Liam felt it too. The energy around him shifted slightly, almost like a warning. He concentrated, sending patterns through the orbs to detect anomalies. One orb broke from the others, spinning rapidly, then slowed as he focused on it. It revealed a projection, an image of Xiphorians gathering in a hidden corridor, whispering urgently. "They're planning something," Liam muttered. "Something secret." "Then you must act," the Queen's voice said. "Observation alone is not enough. Use your understanding, your mind, and your creativity. Humans have a gift that Xiphorians cannot replicate. Show it." Ilara, sensing Liam's tension through the communication link in his suit, approached him. "What is it, Liam?" They're plotting a rebellion, he said. Some Zephyrians see us as dangerous. They might try to capture me. Or worse. Ilara's eyes narrowed. Then we need a plan. And we need to warn the Queen if possible. But quietly. If this is subtle, acting openly could make it worse. Liam nodded. His mind raced. The orbs floated around him, forming shapes that represented paths, corridors, and even potential strategies. I think I can use the energy fields to protect us, guide us, and maybe even intercept them without direct confrontation, he said. Ilara smiled faintly. That's why she chose you. Let's see it in action. That night, the humans moved through the palace with caution. Liam guided them, using subtle energy manipulations to detect hidden corridors and isolate zones where rebels might gather. His understanding of the orbs allowed them to move unseen, avoiding patrols and surveillance systems. As they approached one hidden gathering room, Liam paused. He could see a group of Zephyrians speaking urgently, their expressions angry and fearful. One of them raised a hand, and a small energy device activated, a signal of warning or attack. They're preparing to strike, Liam whispered. We have to act fast, Ilara nodded. Stay calm. Remember, our goal is not to fight them, but to prevent harm and protect everyone, including humans and loyal Zephyrians. Using a combination of thought, intuition, and the orb's energy, Liam created a subtle interference. The device misfired, producing harmless light and sound instead of a signal. The rebels froze, confused. Liam and the human team moved past them, keeping to the shadows. Impressive, Ilara whispered. You're not just clever, you're quick thinking under pressure. Liam smiled faintly but kept moving. We have to stay focused. This is just the beginning. Finally, they reached a secure chamber where they could communicate with the Queen directly. She appeared in a swirl of shimmering light, her expression calm but alert. You have discovered what I anticipated, she said. The rebellion is small but dangerous. They underestimate you because they cannot predict human creativity. That is your strength. Now you must decide how to respond. Liam took a deep breath. We can't fight them outright, but we can outthink them, redirect their plans, and protect both humans and loyal Zephyrians. I think I can guide them without causing a direct conflict. The Queen's smile, small and knowing, appeared. Good. That is the approach I would expect. Use observation, intuition, and adaptation. Your species excels where calculation alone fails. The humans spent hours preparing. Liam used the orbs to map the palace, predicting potential rebel actions. Captain Hayes coordinated her team, ensuring they could respond if anything went wrong. They were learning to blend human instinct with Zephyrian technology, a partnership that was proving surprisingly effective. When the rebellion finally acted, it was during a ceremonial event in the palace. A group of insurgents attempted to disrupt the ceremony and capture Liam. But he had anticipated their movements. Using subtle energy manipulations, he guided barriers, doors, and light patterns to block their paths and redirect them into harmless corridors. The rebels became confused, their devices misfiring, their communications disrupted. The loyal Zephyrians, alerted by the Queen's subtle signals, moved to secure the area without confrontation. Within minutes, the threat was neutralized. No one was harmed, and the rebellion's plan had failed without direct violence. Liam exhaled deeply. We did it. Without anyone getting hurt. Ilara placed a hand on his shoulder. You did it. And you kept our values intact. That's human ingenuity at its best. The Queen appeared again, her form glowing brighter than before. You have shown wisdom, courage, and adaptability. The Zephyrians value all three, but your kind excels where we cannot. You see possibilities we overlook. That is why I marked you. Liam looked at her, feeling a mix of pride and humility. I understand now. It's not about being chosen for power. It's about responsibility, about showing what humans can contribute. Yes, the Queen said, and there are greater challenges ahead. Others will test you. The universe will always test those who strive, but you are ready, if you trust yourselves. As the humans and loyal Zephyrians gathered in the aftermath, a sense of unity began to form. Humans were no longer outsiders, they were partners, problem solvers, and allies. And Liam's presence had proven that even a single human could make a difference in a world far beyond their home. For the first time, the crew understood the weight of the Queen's words. Being chosen was not about privilege, it was about purpose. about rising to meet challenges that required more than strength or technology. It required intelligence, creativity, courage, and the human spirit. Outside, the palace glowed under the distant stars of Xiforia, a beacon of potential, hope, and new alliances. Inside, Liam Carter and his team had earned not just the trust of the Queen, but a glimpse of what humanity could achieve when faced with the unknown, and the Queen's smile remained small, knowing, and full of promise. The palace of Xiforia shimmered under the light of twin suns, casting reflections that danced across the vast energy fields inside. Captain Alara Hayes and her team had spent days navigating its halls, observing, learning, and cooperating with the Queen's advisors. Yet the recent rebellion reminded them that danger was never far away. "Keep your senses sharp," Alara said to her team as they walked through a corridor filled with floating light panels. "Even though the last threat failed, we can't assume it's over." Lieutenant Marco Reyes nodded, though his eyes couldn't hide his awe.
"Everywhere I look, it's like the palace itself is alive." Alara smiled faintly.
"In a way it is. But life alone doesn't make it safe. Watch the energy flows, watch the reactions of the Xiforians. That's how we stay ahead." Meanwhile, Liam Carter was in the chamber of floating orbs, studying their movements and testing his abilities. Each day he grew more confident in controlling the patterns, predicting reactions and even creating small structures of energy that hovered in midair. The Queen had told him repeatedly, humans had an advantage because they could adapt, think creatively, and act unpredictably. Qualities Xiforians respected but did not fully understand. "You are ready," the Queen said, her voice echoing in the chamber. "But a greater test approaches. Those who oppose me will act soon. You must act with intelligence, courage, and care. Humans have a gift that is needed now more than ever." Liam nodded, his hands hovering over the orbs. "I understand. We have to prevent harm, protect everyone, and outthink them." That very night, as the palace was bathed in a soft golden glow, alarms flashed silently in Liam's mind through the orbs. A hidden faction had gathered once again, this time preparing a direct strike during the Queen's ceremonial gathering. The Queen herself would be present. It was the most dangerous threat yet. "Alara," Liam said quietly through the communication link. "They're planning to attack during the ceremony. This time it's serious. We need a plan, something that uses both human thinking and Xiforian technology." Alara's eyes narrowed. "We'll need precision. If we fail, it could spark war within the palace. And the Queen, she could be in danger." Using the orbs, Liam created a map of the palace, identifying weak points, hidden corridors, and likely paths of the insurgents. The patterns of energy guided the team, showing where to position themselves for maximum protection with minimum confrontation. "Look at this," Liam said, pointing to the floating map. "We can use energy fields to redirect them, block their devices, and even guide loyal Xiforians to strategic positions, all without anyone getting hurt." Alara nodded. "Brilliant. That's why she chose you. Humans think in ways others cannot. Let's put it into action." The ceremony began. Xiforians gathered in the vast hall, their forms glowing gently, creating a breathtaking display of light and energy. The Queen entered, her presence commanding yet serene. Liam and the human team positioned themselves strategically, guided by his predictions and energy manipulations. Suddenly, a ripple of disturbance passed through the crowd. The hidden faction had initiated their attack, attempting to disable the palace's energy control systems. Lights flickered and whispers of confusion spread among the Xiforians. Liam acted instantly. He projected small energy barriers, redirecting the rogue energy streams harmlessly into side chambers. He created illusions of movement, confusing the insurgents while allowing loyal Xiforians to counter their actions. Every step, every prediction, every adjustment relied on his understanding of human creativity, combined with Xiforian energy. "Alara, the left flank is weak," Liam called through the link. "We need to guide them before they interfere with the Queen's position." Alara nodded. Using the corridors Liam had predicted, she moved swiftly with Marco and the rest of the team, subtly guiding the loyal Xiforians into strategic positions. The rebels were caught off guard. Every attempt they made was countered not with violence, but with clever manipulation of energy and space. The Queen observed calmly, her eyes fixed on Liam. "See what I foresaw," she whispered to Valan, her advisor. The human mind can see paths we cannot predict. He adapts, creates, and survives. That is why I marked him. Liam's heart pounded, but he remained focused. Using a combination of energy bridges and light fields, he blocked a critical corridor the insurgents were attempting to use. He then redirected them to a chamber that had been prepared as a holding area, ensuring no one was harmed. One of the rebels tried to break free, aiming a small device at the Queen. Liam acted without hesitation. He projected a protective energy field just in time, preventing any harm. The device fizzled harmlessly against the barrier, and the insurgent was guided back into containment by the redirected flow of energy. Alara reached Liam's side, her eyes wide. "You did it," she whispered. "Without anyone getting hurt. You turned the tide." Liam nodded, exhaustion and relief washing over him. "We did it. Together." The Queen stepped forward, her smile gentle but proud. "You have shown wisdom beyond measure. Courage without recklessness. Creativity without error. Humans have a gift. The ability to think, adapt, and endure in ways even the most advanced civilizations cannot predict. Today you have proven it." The room was quiet, the only sound the soft hum of energy flowing through the palace. Even the rebels, now contained and unharmed, seemed to recognize the intelligence and care behind the humans' actions. "You see, Liam," the Queen continued, her voice soft yet filled with authority, "humans succeed not because they are strongest or fastest. You succeed because you think differently. You adapt, improvise, and persevere. That is your power." Liam felt a warmth in his chest, a mix of pride and responsibility. "I understand now," he said quietly. "It's not about being chosen. It's about proving what humans can do, with heart and mind together." Alara placed a hand on his shoulder. "And you've done it. We've all done it. Humans are stronger together. And now you've shown the Xiphorians what we can offer as partners." The Queen observed the team, her glowing eyes reflecting admiration. The universe is full of challenges. There will always be tests, but humans, they endure, they think, they adapt, and when guided by purpose, they shine. Outside the palace, the twin suns of Xiphoria cast long shadows, creating patterns that mirrored the energy flows inside. Humans had shown their ingenuity, courage, and unity, earning not only the Queen's respect but the trust of loyal Xiphorians. Liam turned to his team, feeling a sense of accomplishment and awe. "We've taken the first step," he said. But the Queen hinted at more challenges. "If this is just the beginning, we need to stay ready and keep learning." Alara smiled. "That's what makes humans special. We never stop adapting, never stop thinking. That's why she trusts us, and why we can stand beside her as allies, not just visitors." The Queen's voice echoed one final time through the chamber. "Remember this, humans. Strength lies not in power alone, but in the ability to adapt, understand, and endure. Today you have shown that your spirit is as formidable as your mind. Never forget it." Liam nodded, understanding the depth of her words. He had been chosen for a reason, not to dominate, but to demonstrate what humanity could bring to a world far beyond their own. And as the Queen's smile remained, calm and full of knowing, the humans realized something extraordinary. They had not just survived the threat, they had reshaped the way an entire alien civilization saw them. Human creativity, intelligence, and courage had turned the tide, and for the first time, humanity felt the weight and promise of its place among the stars. The twin suns of Xiphoria were beginning to set, casting long streaks of golden and violet light across the palace halls. After the rebellion had been neutralized, the human crew had spent days helping the Xiphorians secure their systems, repair energy networks, and restore confidence among the citizens. The palace was calm now, though the memory of danger still lingered. Captain Alara Hayes walked beside Liam Carter, observing the smooth flow of energy that pulsed through the walls and floors. The floating orbs had returned to their gentle, steady rhythm, no longer frantic or reactive. Liam's understanding of their behavior had grown immensely over the past days. "You've changed the way they see us," Alara said quietly. "Not just you, but all of us. Humans aren't outsiders anymore. We're partners." Liam smiled faintly. "It's strange. I never imagined that our species could be trusted in a world so advanced. And yet, here we are." Alara nodded. "We proved ourselves. Not with weapons, not with power, but with intelligence, creativity, and courage. That's what sets humans apart." The Queen appeared in her chamber, her form glowing softly against the twilight. Liam and Alara approached, both feeling the weight of the moment. "You have done well," the Queen said, her voice melodic and serene. "Your actions have shown all Xiphorians that humans are not to be feared but to be respected. You have proven that you are worthy of trust, partnership, and friendship." Liam stepped forward, bowing slightly in respect. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We acted as humans, but we learned from you. You gave us the chance to show what we can do." The Queen's smile widened, gentle and approving. "It was not chance. It was observation, recognition, and belief. I chose you because I saw potential. And now that potential has been realized, humans have shown that they can think, adapt, and endure in ways even we could not predict." Phelan, the Queen's advisor, approached as well. "You have earned a place among us," he said. "Not as subjects, but as equals. Humans may teach us as much as we have taught them. This is a rare gift." Alara exchanged a look with Liam. "We came here to explore, to learn, but it feels like we've done more than that. We've built something lasting." The Queen turned her gaze fully on Liam. "And you in particular have proven yourself invaluable. Your courage and creativity have shaped this outcome. You were chosen not for power but for purpose. I now name you my trusted advisor, a bridge between our civilizations." Liam felt a surge of pride mixed with humility. Being chosen had never been about privilege. It had been about responsibility. The responsibility to act wisely, to protect, and to foster understanding. "Your Majesty," he said carefully, "I accept this role, but I do so knowing that I am not alone. My team stands with me, and together we can work toward the future you envision." The Queen's smile deepened. "Indeed, you are not alone. Humans act in unity, and that is why you succeed. You understand that strength lies not in isolation but in cooperation." The palace halls were soon filled with celebrations. Xiphorians and humans alike shared stories, laughter, and discoveries. Though there had been fear and rebellion, the mood was one of hope. Humans were learning Xiphorian knowledge, and Xiphorians were observing human creativity and resilience firsthand. Liam wandered among the celebrants, floating energy symbols reflecting in his eyes. He paused near a young Xiphorian child who looked at him curiously. "You are human?" the child asked, tilting their head. "Yes," Liam said, smiling. "And you are Xiphorian? We're very different, but that's why we can learn from each other." The child's eyes sparkled. "I want to see what humans can do." Liam knelt slightly. "Then one day you will, and you'll see that being different is a strength, not a weakness." Meanwhile, Captain Hayes joined the Queen and her advisors in a quiet chamber. "Your Majesty," she said, "we came to understand your people, but in the process we discovered something more. Humans have qualities that are unique: creativity, adaptability, courage, and compassion. That's what earned your trust." The Queen nodded. "And that is why humans will be allies, not just visitors. You have proven that your species belongs among the stars, not through conquest but through thought, heart, and spirit." Phelan added, "Your knowledge, combined with your unpredictability, has saved this palace and likely prevented wider conflict. Humans have given us hope." Alara smiled faintly. "And you've given us hope, too. A chance to be more than explorers. A chance to be partners in a new future." Later, Liam and Alara walked through a garden terrace overlooking the glowing city of Xiphoria below. Energy currents flowed like rivers, light shimmering across floating structures and gardens that seemed to defy gravity. "It's beautiful," Marco said softly, joining them. "I never imagined anything like this." "It is," Liam agreed. "But more than that, it feels possible now. We can help build something lasting here, a connection between humans and Xiphorians that benefits both species." Alara nodded. "Humans have always faced challenges, Liam. From Earth to space, we adapt and endure. That's why she chose you, and why she respects all of us now." The Queen appeared beside them, as quiet and graceful as the wind. "You understand, then. Humans are remarkable not because you dominate, but because you think, you care, and you endure. You have made a difference today, and that difference will shape the future of this world and many others." Liam felt a deep sense of purpose. "We will do our best, Your Majesty. We will not forget what you have taught us." The Queen smiled again, a small knowing smile. "Then go forward with courage. The universe awaits, and humans have proven that they can rise to every challenge." In the following days, humans and Xiphorians began working side by side. Humans shared their creative approaches to problem solving, finding new ways to harness energy, organize resources, and communicate across vast distances. Scyphorians shared knowledge of energy manipulation, advanced travel, and science far beyond human understanding. Together, they explored the possibilities of a partnership built on mutual respect and curiosity. Liam often returned to the Chamber of Orbs, experimenting and learning. Each day he discovered new ways to blend human creativity with Scyphorian technology. He realized that the orbs were not simply tools, they were extensions of thought and imagination, and humans had the ability to inspire and adapt them in ways Scyphorians never anticipated. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting violet and gold across the city, Liam stood with Alara and Marco. They watched Scyphorians teaching humans demonstrating creative problem-solving, and children of both species laughing together. "Look at that," Marco said quietly. "Humans are finally being seen for what we truly are." Alara smiled. "Yes, not just survivors, explorers, or visitors, but partners. The universe will remember this moment." Liam felt a sense of peace he had never experienced before. The Queen's choice had been the beginning of something extraordinary, a bridge between species that could change the course of interstellar history. He understood now that humans were remarkable not because of strength, speed, or technology, but because of their heart, courage, creativity, and the ability to rise to challenges no one else could face. And as the stars of Xiphoria began to twinkle against the deepening sky, the Queen's smile remained, calm, warm, and full of promise. It was a reminder that humans had not just survived, they had flourished. For the first time, humanity's place among the stars felt real, earned through intelligence, ingenuity, and the unbreakable spirit that had always driven them forward. And in that moment, Liam Carter understood what it truly meant to be chosen. Not for privilege, not for power, but for the chance to shape the future with courage, heart, and human ingenuity.